In the playlist of how to service your MINI R53, we have how to change your spark plugs. So on my particular MINI R53, I have an uprated intercooler, which is an AirTech intercooler, so we have to remove that to be able to get to the spark plugs. What spark plugs to go for depends on, of course, your budget and what modifications you're running on your MINI. I went for these particular spark plugs as I had them previously on my car. I originally chose these ones. I did some research using the MINI R53 Owners Club to see what other spark plugs other people recommended, depending on the modifications they were running. So the tools that you'll need for this are a 3/8 ratchet with a 3/8 extension, a 16mm socket, but you can use a normal deep socket, a Torx 30 screwdriver or bit driver, anything T30 will do, magnet on a stick, 5mm hex bit. The first thing we're going to do to be able to access the spark plugs and get them changed is we're going to remove that uprated intercooler that we mentioned at the start of the video. So if you use that screwdriver or bit driver to remove 4 screws either side, so that's 8 screws in total, and just put them to one side. So when you remove these brackets, just make sure you remember exactly which supercharger horn you originally got them from, as they're not the same size as either side, and it just makes it a lot easier if you remember which side you got them from, because there'll be a top and a bottom to the bracket. So if your snoot boots have faded like mine were originally white, they're now a very garish, horrible yellow. I got a set from Modern Mini, so I will be replacing them at some point. So then just need your ratchet and your 5mm hex bit or Allen heads to remove the fixing attached to the intercooler. So there'll be one of these either side that you just need to remove, and again just keep hold of that. Of course you'll need to put it back on. So now we've removed them fixings that are attached one either side, put them to the side, and then you'll now be able to carefully pull away the intercooler to remove it from the supercharger horns. If you're not an expert or you're not entirely confident doing this, we just advise don't take the HT leads from the distributor, as you may mix them up, which then could cause a misfire. So if you grab the coil pack firmly at the top and pull it out and put it to one side, and then the same again, so if you pull it out again, put it to one side, you'll see the placement of where they're being placed, so you'll remember exactly where they go back in. So if you do just do something similar, then you'll be able to know exactly what order they go back in. You should be able to see the spark plugs. Now to remove these, you can use that long magnet on a stick that we mentioned at the start of the video. Once you remove the spark plugs, check the condition of your spark plugs. Mine were changed around 2 years, less than 10,000 miles ago. Check there's no oil residue or they don't look coked up. So if yours look similar to this, then they're perfectly fine. So if you take your spark plugs out of the packaging, but keep the packaging as you'll need that in a moment, just inspect the spark plugs and check there isn't any damage or they don't look any different to each other, as this could cause a misfire. So on the packaging there should be instructions. So on you'll see there is the first turn is 1/16 of a turn, then 1/2 to 2/3 of a turn for the second turn. As you've placed the leads neatly in order, corresponding with where they need to return to, you can then put the coil packs back in, push them in, and you'll feel a slight click on the top, so you'll know they're firmly in place. So after you've fitted all 4 coil packs, we just need to return the intercooler to its original position. You might need to just adjust the snoot boot slightly just to get the intercooler in the correct position, as you can see on the video. So as you put the brackets, or remembered which side the brackets went on, this should just be a reverse procedure of the initial taking the intercooler off. So you firstly need to get them brackets in position so you can then fix the screws to them, which of course 4 screws either side, so 8 screws in total. 2 brackets on the top, 2 brackets on the bottom, so again there'll be 8 brackets in total, 4 brackets either side. So again, you're just using a screwdriver or the bit driver just to secure them into place. Then again, you should use your ratchet and your 5mm hex bit or Allen head to secure them 2 fixings either side of the intercooler. When you've done any work on your car, I just always advise having a look around, just check you've not got any leftover bolts, screws, fixings, brackets, as it could mean that you've left something loose. Then I'd advise starting your car up, just checking that there's not any particular noises that are unusual, and just check you've not got any lights on the dash that of course weren't already there in the first place.